We're talking to Professor YY-Clark, a professional engineer from Tennessee State University, and she's talking about some of her earlier activities in a profile that we're doing on Professor Clark. And I think, Professor Clark, when we left for our first commercial break, we had you ready to get out of Howard University. And so let's talk about some of your experiences there and then move on to Tennessee State University.
Okay. Some of the things that stick out at Howard University, I was the only female in the College of Engineering, and the one of my professors gave us assignments in the lab, and I was assigned to shoveling sand, and when he saw me shoveling sand, he changed me to the mold. But believe me, I took 6 shovels to make one man shovel. I didn't hurt myself. And then little things like that. So we got up to graduation, and I went to my interviews like everybody does when you're graduating. Navy couldn't hire me because it's a bad omen for a woman to be on boat, and I'm an engineer. Forget the woman. Okay. And then somebody else couldn't hire me because I didn't weigh enough. I have enough muscle, and the room was big enough. But anyway, mother graduated Howard University, first female, mechanical engineer, and then I went home. Mom said, "When are you going to unpack?" I said, "Mom, I'm not going to unpack. I'm expecting a job." 2 months, she got her wish. The trunk went off to my job in Philadelphia, my first job with the government, and she's happy. I'm happy. So, and the government, Frankfurt Arsenal, Philadelphia, went in on overtime. I haven't seen a part of Philadelphia going in on overtime. Well, then the men found out that I was making more than they were with this degree, and my ears were still wet, and they came up through the ranks. So I got put on no overtime. Good, I can now go visit Philadelphia. And they said, "This chick is crazy. She's happy she's not doing overtime." But, and going for my raise with the government, at that day and age, you had to have a seat before you could get. And 2 men were waiting for a bank loan to give me my seat. I ain't depend on anybody all this time. Why should I start now? So I went looking, now that I wasn't on overtime, and found RCA was hiring. Okay, I go in with the bunch, and Mom asked me, "What are some of the questions that they asked you?" And I said, "Who would I choose, Eisenhower or Truman?" I said, "I choose Truman." Mom said, "You just lost that job." I said, "Why, Mom? Don't you know industry is Republican?" The man asked me, "Mom, who would I choose?" And I told him who I chose. I got me a telegram, "Can you report in 2 weeks?" Okay, very good. That gave me enough time to tell the government, "I'm gone." You got to give them 2 weeks notice. And so now I'm at RCA, and the man, I think I might have been one of 2 mechanical engineers with all these EEs. So the guy in charge of us said, "Don't y'all look down your nose at just because you got 2 MEs in this bunch. If they don't put your lines in some kind of form where we can make a profit, you don't have a job." That broke that ice. So I ended up being a design engineer with RCA, checked out a whole lot of different things, and I was sometimes a go or no go even on projects. My education did that. You fall in love, and I knew what I could do, but I wasn't sure what you can do. So I left industry, and the next month I was working at TSU. But in the meantime, I had tried to get on with another company here in Nashville. And then, but they have no use for you. Not only was I black, I was a female engineer. That was something that was really difficult for them to deal with. That was to deal. Even now, sometimes, as you could probably attest to, but that was really difficult at that time. That was difficult because I had just left industry. I knew they needed me, and but you know, you do what you have to do. I'm a positive person. I went down the street, and Prof. Howard said, "We need an engineer. One of ours just left." He left in December. I came on in January. The students didn't lose any information. And then he taught me how to form up my classes and everything, because engineers don't take education.
That's good. Okay.
We don't, so he had to teach me what to do. And Prof. Howard had been a teacher as well as an engineer in industry. That's all really TSU had at that time. Guys wanted to continue to work, so they came into education. That's where I was. I'm now at Howard, and ironically, with a married name, the president didn't recognize me by name. And first female, I mean, he made the remark, "Who brought this rabble-rouser in?" That's what I was told. And then when he met this rabble-rouser, "Oh, I'm at your home every Derby." Yes.
He knew you from Louisville.
That's right. As Young.
That's the President Davis.
Yes.
That's the first president of Tennessee State. I mean, second president of Tennessee State
Hale was the first one. I teach orientation now. Come on, come on.
And so he knew you early.
He knew me as Young.
Okay.
He didn't know me as Clark.
Clark. Okay.
So he's now got a young Clark on his in his school, the first female that they've hired in engineering. There were 2 females in the building. Miss Patton, the secretary for the dean, and Clark, a faculty member. So, you know,
You're the only faculty member, female faculty member in the engineering building at Tennessee State University.
In mechanical engineering.
Now, how was that? What kind of reception did you have among all those men?
That was their problem. I had me a job. I was happy. I had certain things I had to do. I didn't have no problem.
So you moved on forward.
Ooh, honey hush. Yeah. And it was a group. Engineers, we are team people.
Very good.
And team people, and they have all kind of idiosyncrasies back there, and you just live with them. Mr. Bright was a beautiful engineer, electrical. We had Dr. Parsons, who had many patents in metallurgy. That was a cohesive group, and Benton Dutton was my dean. Benton Dutton called before I got it there, and in those days, if January 1 fell on a working day, Monday through Friday, we went to work back in those days. So Dean Dutton said, "Mrs. Clark, are you coming to work today?" "This is the first, sir." "Yes, we are working." I said, "I got my football, sir. I'm too close to industry, sir. Can I come tomorrow morning at 8:30, sir?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Thank you," and hung up right quick before he changed his mind. But that was my first encounter. But we were working in on, if New Year's fell on that day, we had a job.
Okay, and of course, let us take this second commercial break, Professor Clark, and then we'll get back and talk about some other notable events and personalities. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. Professor YY Clark